Hello, what's up? Welcome. Well, we've made it through day one, and yesterday we did some manhunt for the in between because this was getting a bit too text story heavy. I thought we might need a little change of pace, but as I said in the video of manhunt, I think I'll be doing. I'll be alternating between the two. So today, disco again. Tomorrow, manhunt, and then so on and so on until one of them is finished, and then I will continue with the remainder game until we get to our next one. So yeah, let's continue day 2.
This fan has 2 chain pulls, or has it been consigned there as punishment? You feel as though this creature is your friend and wants to reattach itself to your neck so that you may continue your adventures together in this strange world.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Never mind. Anything new that we can do? Let's check the mirror. Actually, what is this? Oh, it's locked.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Tool not in hand.
Your hands, however skillful, can't manage this task on their own. You should get your chain cutters out.
How do I get the chain? Okay, tools.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Let's try it again.
The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. Well, you know one thing for sure. You've probably never been a plumber.
Could I do it
A
again?
mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Nope. Okay. So, never mind that. We have nothing on the neck. Smokes. 4 uses. Substance. To collect tar from the streets. No. I guess we shall continue.
The door is closed. Still nothing. Still nothing. This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
Okay, same old, same old. He's not there, Maybe he's on the balcony. Probably not, probably waiting downstairs. Which would make a lot of sense. Anything else I can? Nope. Okay. We have 23 real. So we could make it through the next day if we keep on this moolah. Oh. Let's talk to you first then.
Morning.
Gives you a quick nod.
I've got some good news. I took care of the body. The thought of him decomposing in my MC wouldn't let me sleep.
Good, thanks.
I'm just glad he's gone. We have other matters to attend to.
Oh.
The Union muscle finally turned up, and they look rowdy. We need to talk to them.
Why do we need to talk to them?
Everything points to the dock workers' union. The belt used for hanging him, tracks in the mud, the circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information. Which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
What do you mean rowdy?
I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union. These men here. Men who drink beer for breakfast? There's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for state policing. I think it's them.
Are these the men Guard told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said.
Oh yeah, good point.
One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
You crossed something out? There are so many of them. Maybe we should call in reinforcements?
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union.
So let me just put this charger away. Okay.
In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay? One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Let's talk to this wonderful old lady again.
Just a moment.
The woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway.
She turns back to...
I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Good day, ma'am. Everything alright?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The Union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Wait, what's wrong with the phone?
The manager was vague about it.
Why did you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Okay. Albeit, as you haven't gone missing before.
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it, somnolent. A damp chill goes down your spine. When you look around, you're still in the whirling in rags.
But you have more important things to worry about.
She glanced out the window toward the bay. What is this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
The waterlock, that was broken. Could this be it?
Was this scary? It's good, they're probably just stuck over there.
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that.
She smiles.
Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
The water lock to the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck over there. Proceed.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
Probably just some technical problem. They were going to fix it on Wednesday.
Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired, and it's cold out there.
If I see him, I'll let him know you're here. Where or if I get there.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
So your husband is some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
What is cryptozoology?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
The lieutenant sounds unimpressed.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
Of course they are.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
Okay, well, let's suggest maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
Hey Lena, I'd like to hear about some of the cryptids you studied. Could you just tell me about a couple of them?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
Okay, just one little cryptid.
He nods and assumes a waiting posture. Cryptids, cryptids. Let's hear about all the interesting cryptids. Ooh, tough choice there.
Is that a kind of spin you gave me?
Yes, it's the kind green ape. Half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo.
War story.
Yes, it was reported by soldiers in South Safra during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva.
Wow, with its saliva?
Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight.
Incredible. And there was something about an undiscovered subspecies of man?
Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like your partners.
I know you're not human.
Ma'am, you're confusing him.
Please don't misunderstand me, either of you. Human, as it is used in everyday speech, is hardly a taxonomic category. For all intents and purposes, you can be thought of as human, though Saolites do have some distinguishing characteristics. Different advantages, if you will.
Yes, advantages such as the flakier texture of Saolite earwax, or so I've heard. Nothing inspires pride in one species quite like speculative evolutionary biology. Perhaps we've had enough of that for today.
What's the biggest cryptid?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
That's true, yeah.
I'm glad you see it that way. Did we have anything more to do here?
That's all for now, man.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again. Oh, dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
What does your husband look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. and his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
Let's try again.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
How long you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
How did the two of you meet?
By a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I hope I've been useful.
Tell me what the rare insect Jasper is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Of course, dear.
About your pin.
I hope you were able to pawn that old trinket.
I decided not to pawn. You should have it back.
Oh, thank you, dear. I confess I am glad to see it again.
Even the lieutenant seems happy with this turn of events.
Now, what else, sweetie?
I think that's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Then why are you wasting my time and yours?
Okay, cool. So I can already pay, but I don't think I should. Tomatoes are thinly sliced, you can see through them. Who are you?
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please. It's not funny.
Yeah, sure.
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
You got some impressive pots there.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Good evening, fellow. How you been? It's been a while. 2 days. How have you been doing? We couldn't go through the door.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
Sorry, I haven't been watching the stream. School started again. I don't. No need to be sorry, man. I'm just here. If you'll be here, cool. If not, hey, man, it's all good. Nobody's holding a gun to anybody's head. How is school? Sorry, what is Aoda saying? Okay, Sakamoto days. Decent. Understandable. Understandable. You enjoying it though?
Let me handle this.
So is there a crown vessel before turning to you?
Detective disorientated. Are you still wondering where you are? This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten. I advise you not to overstay your welcome.
Her entire character has shifted. This young woman is cold as ice.
You lied to me, you're not a gardener.
That's right. I am not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
Oh.
So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that will help you? Maybe he does.
She points to the man on her right.
That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her. Could this be the Miss Beaufort that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school?
Ah.
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
Ah, that makes sense.
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here. Titus Hardy.
She points to the tall man by the table.
Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes. In the way she stands, in her face. You caught her off guard. Push her some more.
Easy Leo told me about you. He likes to talk a lot.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question these men.
Well, any information from anybody is helpful.
You set the pace and the topic of these conversations here. Establish that.
And the topic, he said, send you to law school.
I represent the union and these men here. Don't make this personal.
A very minor victory.
But I want to talk to you, not Titus.
What you want is of no significance, officer.
Sorry.
Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
I saw what you were thinking. You want to say, what are you going to do to me? Don't. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean you have to say it. You will not lose out on anything good by not saying it.
What are you going to...
Aggressive, you make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Yep, that's police. Most of the time.
Fuck yeah.
Ah, this guy looks pretty cool. The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
I don't know where you heard that, but it's wrong. Just like, unlike you socially. I like that. Good start. Let's take it a step further. Our uprising, what are the union's plans?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
What are you going to do to me? That's how it approach.
What are we going to do to you?
You were specifically asked not to say that, and then you said it anyway, you junior delinquent. But you still did.
The union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
Okay, well, we should talk to Titus then. Money? Well, spin it reeking of tobacco. You see Hawthorne bush outside. For Photos of men overalls toting guns in Union placards. Ooh, money! Who can we talk to?
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
Perception sight 2. Let's try it.
Nothing. Just black tangles like the hair of an old woman. Motionless. The wind in the yard doesn't reach the hawthorn, nor does the light come in from this window.
Oh, revert your gaze. Well, let's finally talk to this fine gentleman, Titus.
This is where you say your bed.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective,
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you. Don't say anything. Your attitude? No. We talked about the man hanged out back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
How do I like the game? Well, it's very story driven. That's the one thing I gotta say. It's too much. A lot of, well, talking, listening. So you're either into that or not. I mean, it's half and half for me. I do enjoy it, but at times it just gets too much. It's like too much information. That's why yesterday I played a different game, just to spice things up a little bit. But I mean, this is just mostly your imagination should do the work, I think. Looks just like a Dungeons and Dragons type of game, but with detective. And choices you make, the way you build your character, like you can create how you wanted it to be in the beginning. So yeah, and but I'm not sure if each individual character sheet, how do I call it? Skill points? No. Well, the builds, if it would affect the story. I mean, some chances or dice rolls will be affected, but I'm not sure if every single story aspect will be affected by this. It could be. Like, that's the fun part, because I think everybody will have a different experience playing the game. I think. If it's not, it's okay. But if it is, I mean, that's quite incredible. It's fun, but not too much in a row.
Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard.
2, 3,
Chances
4,
are they're going to match.
Wait a minute. There's one missing, isn't there? Scan the room.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man. In his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian. In his late 30s, early 40s. A symmetric burn on his neck, resembling the letters Loss Loss. Has he tried to burn it off? Leave that life behind? And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. fingerless gloves, and numerous scars. A little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician.
The little guy.
Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220.
Oh, okay.
In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them missing the odd soul. Maybe it's this lady over here?
Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
So where's the 8th Hardy, boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
He sizes you up.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. End.
He points at the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
So we can assume that she was the one that was present as well?
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
The man hanging in the backyard, did you do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Let's just do this one.
Container belt, like we use in the harbor?
Yes.
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him. We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
So he just confessed to murder?
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
Probably the first option. Let's just go one by one if that's a possibility.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
Is this for worse than dying? That's true, we're just doing our job.
Oh, so you are just a simple, well-meaning man, eh? Ever been in solitary? Prison is a charter. That's what it is.
Okay.
So he's hanging a man, slowly, without breaking his neck.
Who called the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy boy without arresting all Hardy boys, do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
No, but seriously.
Who do you fucking think does?
Angry. That's either him or her. The big dick. Ooh. Let's just do this one.
Titus, no one was thinking.
No. Fuck no! The big dick is right here, asshole. You're looking at it. Right. Fucking here.
No, they're hiding something, of course.
Disregard the outburst, officer. None of the boys have any comments on their power relations. That night, they acted as one. That's all.
When did this hanging incident?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
The fixer turns to remind Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Okay, interesting.
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
Not sure.
By the Pines cow, you mean the representative for Wild Pines? The shipping company you are striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
It's all over.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Why did you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So was a mercenary?
And he stepped out of line.
Shut like a vice.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
No, let's do the first one.
Cause one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, "I'm RNE's goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all."
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some RNE's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Besides, crimes against karaoke.
Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wipes pillow from his mouth.
There's slight unease in him, suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
This little information.
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming, "Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt?" Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, Me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
You're a beast like a parrot. Okay, but who did he...
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Well, how did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
Maybe they killed him before hanging him, right?
You're pretty sure you've had at least 2 years of cop school and many more of active service.
The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not tied. Can you explain that?
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, Capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clubbed him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up.
Things aren't quite right here, are they?
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But
first tell me who saw him.
Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned by the police. This little rat-faced fellow is solid, too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
Was cracking under pressure. He's sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They smartly kept him out of the conversation. Thus far, definitely the weakest in a chain. Weakest link in the chain. Hey, you.
No.
From under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
Mr. Tats, what did you use to knock the victim out?
My fucking elbow, Copper. Samaran boxing style.
Samaran boxing, or Sambo, is an eloquently violent set of one-on-one fighting moves, originating from the Samaran Isola. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool.
Where did all this action take place?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
Stuff you're not telling me.
And fuck you, too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
His all-muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Right, I have other questions about the lynching.
Like what, Copper?
Why don't I just arrest you?
Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
It's almost an anthropological sight, watching him try to assert dominance over you.
Not in the arresting mood?
His mean little eyes come alive with hatred.
By your side, the lieutenant keeps his hand away from his holster. You hear the nylon of his coat hiss as he steps closer. Easy. Walk back from the provocation. They're armed, and they outnumber us. The lieutenant tries to establish eye contact with you.
Easy now, let's just talk.
Wise move. You made the right choice there. Now make another one and get the fuck out of our booth.
Okay, well...
We're not gonna do this again.
Not yet. We will soon enough.
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus.
The lieutenant closes his notebook.
I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this.
Exactly.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Let's establish authority.
Establish authority. Yes. Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind.
We're keeping this stuff from going to hell. You're not helping. Kim, I need your gun. Okay.
Why?
This is not what he thinks it is. This is a great idea. I'm afraid it's not what you think it is either.
This is demonstration.
What in the name of fuck are you doing?
But I don't want to give you my gun, not after the last time.
The fuck is happening, Titus? What are they whispering about?
Easy, Shanks. I want to see where this is going.
I know what I'm doing. It's not my first day on the police job.
Police job?
Then,
Be careful, it's loaded.
oddly light and buzzing in your hand, like a funny toy.
Good. Now put it in your mouth.
What are you doing?
Dude, what?
Genuine panic flies across the lieutenant's face.
Fellas, you getting any of this?
This is my... And that, strike me unify. Let's just do number 3.
He's not gonna off himself. Come on.
No. He'll do it. Go ahead, son. 3, 2.
2, 1. Do it. Get this one thing right. No. Give it to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. It's not too late. You can still spin this as some kind of tactic. There will be no spinning. Do the honest thing. Pull the trigger.
Okay, let's just, you know, if it actually hits, let's just restart this thing.
Deranged cop kills himself. Citizens in shock as a deranged law official reportedly from the 41st precinct shot himself in the head last night in the middle of a crowded cafeteria in downtown Martinez. The exact details of the incident have not been revealed, but first-hand witnesses claim that the officer was making a point. Can't say I'm surprised, Lawrence Gart, manager of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria, where the incident took place, commented. He was extremely unstable and had threatened to kill himself before.
Well, that sucks. Okay. Well, I'll just, do a... I thought maybe it wouldn't go off. I mean, you know. Well, didn't think that carefully through. Oh well.
Morning. I've got some good news. I took care of the body. I'm just glad the union muscle finally turned up. Men who drink beer for breakfast. A complete one loose thread less to worry about. That would, in fact, even one more.
Good, but
They're in no hurry.
Okay, so...
Can I help you?
I'll just do it as fast as possible again.
thin man. Okay, the man puts his cup down and replies something. His left hand drawing arcs in the air. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for no. He smiles. It's almost like music.
Okay, let's talk to the old lady. Oh.
Just a moment, and
The close.
it's fine. I under. Please, the union office probably the man till it. I was also hoping that's.
A cold breeze.
You have more important. Just some. But
The water lock. That was broken.
oh, Gary's is. Oh my. Well,
You're welcome.
I hate to ask.
This was short, yes.
And if you see him, oh, you're such a dear. Oh,
It's a...
that's.
my apologies.
It's searching for such species called cryptids is
There's really no point in manipulating it.
Oh,
One cryptid.
He not cryptid. Ooh, tough choice there.
that would be the giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes. A mirage or a psychogenous luminance. No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision. The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
Who here? No animal can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Great. This is great shit. You need more. Gravity anomaly. Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
He nods approvingly.
Yeah. And then let's give back her.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh,
The lieutenant.
one other thing. He'll likely will be. Well, I'm sorry, sweetie. Bye.
She's skipping over some important.
I hope I've been useful. Oh,
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
of course, dear. I hope you were able to pawn that. Oh,
Even the
now, what else, sweetie?
Okay, that's all we did. And then we talk to you.
Let me detect.
her entire character has shifted.
That's right. So let's get that.
It doesn't...
She said, could this be the Miss Buford?
Like I already told.
Even you caught her off guard.
You are not.
You set the pace and the topic of these conversations here.
I represent
A very
what you want.
I swear you will not lose out on it.
What of
You were supposed
the unit. If anything, it is the aggressive. Listen.
Fuck you.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders. No one is emotional here. Do your job. Ask your questions.
Okay, let's ask questions. That money. Take it all. Here. Okay, let's just quick save before we screw it up again.
This is where you say your bit.
Okay, let's just speed run through this again.
Detective.
Oh,
Oh, he was.
I can't.
You might.
Do a head count. Start sitting across and then in on his. Let's call size in conclusion. Exactly.
The fuck is with you, fella? Why? Oh,
Actually, shut the fuck.
So let me...
that's you're not
Good.
There's no point.
the pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I...
Container because we did this. God.
No. These 7 on...
How many
Cheers.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. Oh, so you are just...
So is hanging a man, slowly.
Are you dead? Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Who do you fucking think does?
Titus.
No. No.
Disregard the outburst, officer. You don't have...
I know, Lizzie.
No.
Yeah!
Quiet.
By the...
No. Why don't you?
That's enough insinuation.
What I am.
What kind?
The kind.
Alive?
I can't prove it.
Cause one night,
Really?
yeah,
We could.
This is a serious violation of the character.
Wrong.
There's slight
To kill us all.
yeah,
He grabbed some...
yeah. Show me your cunt. Why don't you show me your cunt?
Aren't you?
Yeah. Me and Eugene got aroused. Aren't you fucking?
No. You're not getting the name. We
You're pretty.
The autopsy?
Yeah. That's
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up. Actually, they're admirably, surprisingly composed. The entire room. Given how... Well, this one. But he's always fidgeting. So don't get your hopes up.
My fucking
Samaran boxing. Or Samba.
right fucking...
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
like what, Copper? Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
It's all
Not.
by easy. Walk back from the provocation. They're armed, and they outnumber us. The lieutenant tries to...
Wise move.
Nothing.
I think Greg have done this job.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent
Establish authority. Yes. Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind.
Why?
This is, I'm afraid, it's not what you think it is either.
What in the...
But I don't want...
What the fuck is happening?
Easy, Shanks. I want to see where this is.
Please, be careful.
Good. Now put it in your mouth.
What are you doing?
Genuine panic.
Fellas, you getting any of this?
We'll solve the case. Look at me. Don't worry. This demonstration is not helping at all.
Yeah. Cause I sorta wanna see that shit.
You won't, man. His fucking balls ain't big enough.
These are my thoughts. Nah, give the gun back. Okay, never mind.
Thank you. Nothing to worry about here, people. My partner likes to play these jokes. He's what you call dark.
He is infinitely grateful to have that gun back on his belt right now.
Dark? What the fuck was that, you carnies? We haven't seen RCM in 4 years, and this shows up?
I knew he wasn't gonna do it, though. I knew he'd pussy out.
Well, we did it before, so I mean...
No. I still have my money on him. Sooner or later, he has that look.
I heard that you like my funny joke.
Do not think your failed suicide attempt will win you any pity from these men. Do not expect them to forget it either.
Again, it was a dark joke. Maybe we should go for a little walk, Joker, before we continue. Jogging around seems to have a positive effect on you.
Yes. Get the serotonin running. Keeps those bad thoughts away.
Well, that was fun.
Indirect modes of taxation.
Ah, nice.
Turns out those Financial Oversight Committee gangsters stuffed millions of hard-earned dividends away in the last place anyone thought to look. The hearts and minds of everyday Riversholians. You need to spread that deregulation gospel to the people. Tell them about that foreign fair tax. Preach that 98% gross burden. Preach it, preacher man. Set the brothers free. Taxes are racist.
Is it done? that's fine. And
Sounds like you're the suicide cop, with his finger on the eject button, ready to let go of this life. But guess what? You idiot. You don't have a gun or any bullets. What is this? You're not ready to die. This is garbage. It would be the honorable thing to do. It would really show them. Show her, too. Fine. Keep up the charade another day. This could have been so liberating, but you cling to the case, to your partner, to the world. It's pitiful.
Man. You got anything to say? It's about money, you know? It is all about money. And... okay, I guess we just... oh, let's talk to...
What in the name of hell was that supposed to be? The theatrical suicide attempt. We need to talk about it.
Yes, I want to talk about it as well.
Yes, well, I was able to recontextualize it as a dark joke. I will not be able to recontextualize it the next time. I understand you sometimes employ extreme interrogation tactics, but I want you to understand that was too extreme.
Yes, it was.
We can't have RCM officers going around putting guns in their mouths. We can't afford to have that image. Few institutions can.
I wished... sorry I put you into this position.
No need to apologize. Just keep your gun out of your mouth and we'll be alright. Let's move.
Okay. Let's talk to the most interesting characters in the game, if they're still here. I love these two, man.
Have you come to make your offering to Kuno?
No, you don't. No one is checking out anything. Put that away.
Bitches slapping each other, fighting for Kuno's attention. Kuno likes this pole dancing shit, but it's not good enough.
Kim is never going to be okay with you handing something like this off to a minor. This plan is either off the table, or you need to do it when he's not around.
Whatever then. And how about you?
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Man, these two are absolutely brilliant.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags.
Open a padlock
with a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah.
There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid.
Open the lid.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Look under the box of carton.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Pick up the rags.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers.
Grab them.
As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer.
Evidence.
Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but...
He looks into the container.
The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
A thrown out towel, a mug.
Alright, we should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
The fuck's he on about, kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
Okay.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
Search the food waste.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Pick it up.
Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes. Written in a man's handwriting.
Hey, are these our notes?
Officer, is that your paperwork?
No, it can't.
Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form.
Miserable looking slip of paper sticks to the bottom. Hey! Nice.
If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash?
I think I'll do this
Well...
one.
His eyes express a rare condolence. Then he picks it up.
Lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes.
Okay, I'll do
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
The mug. I'm getting that mug too.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron.
An antique.
Only in its social sensibility.
Take the mug. Then returns his side to the trash. Close.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Come on, Kuno.
Have you come to make your offering to Kuno?
Nope. Okay, so we can't ask you. Dude. Bushes. Well, let's ask Cart and give him back his keys.
Can I help you?
Here's your trash container.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
I found the victim's clothes.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
And your staff?
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene. I think fugue states are more your forte, officer.
What? Who else has
The
keys?
trash collection service, CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road.
On Clinton Street, near the Boogie Street Diamond, a small truck rattles down an alleyway. It stops by a rusted trash container. Two men, their faces rough and swollen, jump out. They look at the container despondently. CSM is written on their backs.
So this guy would be the game master, right? The guy who's talking to us, who's making all our decisions or deciding certain things, right? Since if it was like a Dungeon and Dragon type of game, that would be the person that tells you what you're thinking and going through, right? And what's happening in the world. Because then it makes sense, actually, that he is our inner thoughts, I guess.
Thank you anyway.
Thanks. Let's talk about something else.
Yes.
Goodbye. It all makes sense. In a sense. Yeah, at least I thought so. Now that I think about it properly. Earthquake. Is he hurt? Is it nothing to me?
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front. The mail collection box has no faith in your psychopathic manipulations.
Man. Oh, there's actually... Oh! She seems to browse the books. A good one.
Yes? Hello?
Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Well, let's ask that.
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Phenomenal.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Everyone can see that. The rectangles.
Good then. Okay, do you need help?
What with?
Maybe your husband is missing?
My husband? No, he's not.
So where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
Where is this going, officer?
No, you know where your husband is.
Yes, but... I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time. No.
Maybe you're right, maybe he isn't.
Of course he's not. It's not like he's a pocket watch. I wouldn't just lose him.
She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay.
What?
She tries to concentrate on books, but her eyes are full of bewilderment.
This voice is so contradicting you, man.
Okay, maybe it's something else then.
Maybe your cockatoo is missing. Maybe your children.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
Please, whatever I want.
They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance.
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Jamrock. There's nothing to worry about.
This guy with this smoking, man.
They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now.
Let's do this one.
My youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. But we shouldn't even be talking about them. Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're in Jamrock, safe and well, at some stupid party?
Did someone say party? You could use a party. Hunt it down.
There is no investigation here. I can tell you that.
cocked.
I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get like this. It's better to indulge him at this point.
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Let's see what I'm going to do. Thanks. He brings. Let's talk about something else.
Please, let's do.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
That's all.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
Bad this guy is.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname.
Closer first.
The faded marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions. Just chips in the sandstone.
Okay, look, bullet holes.
Where?
This shot.
There? Those are old. Yes, the one that happened half a century ago. Those bullets were fired during the revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law. Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go?
Yes, sir. Well, actually, maybe you can.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
There was a revitalization project in '49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick. They got as far as the street lamps and that statue on the intersection before something went sour. I suspect it was Evrard's class doing. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here.
The lieutenant adjusts his collar. It's frisky outside. Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk, the ring of metal.
Thank God you have a sensible Watson next to you. Yeah, true.
The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry, different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape, like a ghost. The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible, a half-sunken sea fort. Its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it, its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind.
Hang on there, little one.
The little brave birch tree seems to wave back in the wind.
There are ruins of some kind of building.
Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
Okay. Well, that was fun. Oh. Different to your approach. Whoa. Okay. The building shines like it was recently painted. Roundabout north. Capeside apartments. Freight motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it. There's a girl up there. Did she spill paint?
Up here, piggo.
Okay. It's locked.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time You hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on, get out of here. Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door? There must be another entrance to the east.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
There is no reply. Just faint, sweeping sounds inside.
Well, okay. Saint Elaine 33A. Your room there is much bigger than this sloop. It's worth more than you'll ever earn in your life.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good morning, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group. Why, yes I am.
A lot of people on boats are there.
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
I thought we were in Ravishol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Ravachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
She's having a good time arguing against the law. Too good, perhaps.
That's it, the name.
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
What kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for this?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Can I see your
I
license?
just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but 2 insulindic regattas. Even finished once.
What happened to the other one? What
The
happened
other
to?
time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter. much like the one I'm on now.
Still need to see that license, man.
Actually, you don't.
What do you mean?
The Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license. It's a little known fact among us law officials.
So I can't pull over randoms filling them out their papers. Well known is how little known is this fact?
I was just being polite. Even school children know the Wayfarer Act. No need to resort to self-pity, detective. You can still ask for her passport.
You need to save face if you want her respect. Demand that passport.
Of course.
Look at her passport.
The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap against the hull. In your hand, under the plastic, a light blue passport saying, Republic of Vespa. The coat of arms has a lion and an ostrich. Seigent. The Republic of Vespa, formerly the Republic of Vespa Messina, was once a dual kingdom. An amicable parting of ways produced two constitutional monarchies. Vespa, the richer of the two, is an occidental nation known for its proximity to the Pale and its exotic financial derivatives.
Anything else?
It is a stable country, and yet there has always been something ominous about its perfect stability. It's a place at the edge of the Mwindi Isola, overlooking the Ubi Sunt Isles, fracturing into the great unrest of the Pale.
Look at the photo page.
The woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at you, face adorned with frown lines and crow's feet. The photo is recent. The name reads Rejoice Leighton Messier.
Okay, your name is Rejoice?
Yes, but please don't call me that.
Why?
Joyce is much more efficient.
She doesn't like it. Probably a bad memory. Mean girls at school or some ancient lover.
Makes sense. You're from Vesper.
My husband is. I have dual citizenship. A Vespertine is handier when traveling.
Okay.
She nods and returns the plastic bag to her coat.
Okay, let's also include
Good.
this. What the Wild Pines?
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Who are the Indo-tribes?
Son-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
Okay.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
It's a number, officer. A big one.
90.
It's made of 1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands. 20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments.
A wave hits the sloop, she grasps the mainstay for balance.
A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Okay.
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormantanga on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
That helps us start out with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
What does such a use system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about this.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
That's what said it's a week.
Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
You mean Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
Ow. Ow. Sorry about that. What was the warning about? Oh, sorry about the awful sound, man. Everybody. So we have a warning system on our phones, and apparently something is going on. Not sure what. And then everybody's alarm or phones just rings, or it's a precaution for something, or something is happening. But I think at this time of night, something must be happening. That's not good. Is there iets on the hunt? I clicked it away before I could actually read what it said, because it was a bit too loud. And since it was so close to the microphone, I'm sorry for people's ears.
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
He looks at his notes.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
One moment, I'm gonna check it out, actually, ask my... I'll be right back, sorry. Yeah, a fire in the Grachtstraat, apparently. Right across the train station, or train railroad. You're right, it's just in this location. Yeah, yep, exactly. That's sucky. So anyway, sorry about that. Just had to check.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
can actually see from the... Hold up. Big fire. Nah, I can't smell it from here, man. There's no smell coming. There's no smell coming. It's kind of awkward or weird. Remember in the fireworks that it was also on the roof here, across the street, where people also accidentally, yet that's true, burnt down the roof, and now right over there. Close windows. Ah. But if I smell it, I'll close it.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the Union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Maybe the wind doesn't even blow it to this location, you know. What are the demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
I like it.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy.
That's a good
Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker, a member of the board.
No, but I mean, if the wind doesn't blow to this location, the smoke will never get here. And if it did, I would have definitely seen it, or have smelled anything of it. But I don't smell any smoke or any fire.
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what, about anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That's pretty funny, I have to admit. That's one. The king is the king.
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
By the way, how were you able to find it so fast that it was happening? I mean, you literally said not here, must be here, and then you instantly knew exactly where it was.
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay, then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before.
Alert 112.
Who was more than fair with him and the Union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
Of course, man. Take your time. If not, you have a good evening.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
What do you think of Everard?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Yeah.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen him?
No.
Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union?
The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that.
One moment, I'll be just a second. Something funky going on.
Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She has to look for the right expression.
A mob. The Debardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother.
She turns to you.
And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is...
Maybe this one.
Indeed. And a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers.
Happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Can we... how about Modrix? Whatever, it's fine. Glad you asked. I was on the previous one of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
That's
of course. How else can I help?
I've talked to Everard Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
I was doing my job.
Of course, Detective. Excuse me for implying otherwise.
The RCM does not pick sides in this. I hope it doesn't come off any other way.
Of course. and I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things. Tell her she'll like you for it.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling. He's able to contain the anger and surprise.
And conventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun? Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else? Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah.
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
Contemplating something?
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois. I'm afraid Harry doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Okay, yeah.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Spas after I have a drink loss of memory, a life and the world.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
Exactly, thank you for understanding.
She must have been suspecting something for a while now.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. Feelings will guide the way.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
The first one.
Trust me, officer, I am fully committed to resolving this impasse. This isn't some side gig for me.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
Officer.
I don't know anything except this lynching.
You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Like what?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbor. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Just for a moment, madam.
Mazovian socio-economics. 0.000% of communism has been built. Evil, child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmazov fucked him over, personally, with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
Ooh, okay. Oh, you also need... Ah, okay.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched. The magnesium levels in your blood are dangerously low. It's about the low magnesium levels and not the high alcohol levels. Yeah, the other things. Long live the other things. Made you strong as an ox, they have. Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
I need to mag it up.
You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium. Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to transcend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary and buy insane amounts of magnesium. It will reverse the damage to your circulatory system.
Active. Done. Okay.
Just remember, it's not the alcohol. Buy more of that too. Alcohol is not the problem. And it's certainly not the dextroamphetamine, nor smoking for 40 years. It's the lack of magnesium and excess of coffee. You should stop drinking coffee. It wreaks havoc on your gastrointestinal system.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
So we're henchmen now?
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we're siding with the Union, or that we're on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
That's good.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large, and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from the station, but that would literally take months. It would not hurt if you tried more in the future, yes.
Let's go back to it.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
This reality. Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy now that I think of it.
Looks at you.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
We're in Martinez, baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed. Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year. I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets. It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities, vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her and to humanity at large.
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of a city is Revachol?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built this city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
When was...
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
That's not too old, actually. And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're pretty much at the center of the world.
Oh, we're quite a way off. About
Where the skyscrapers are.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
I'll continue later.
It's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Good points.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
Let's do this one.
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
She says energetically. The Revachol Citizens Militia.
Preciso mundo.
And what is?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
You said de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
That's it for the who am I part then.
Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I am here to help.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue, a doubt of sorts, already in your head. But it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later, once the jamais vu thought is complete.
That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything, it's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Get it straight.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
Would Angus do it?
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Ah, the one we've already talked to in the beginning.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you. How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
Good point.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
You found it with source ingredients for drugs.
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Let's just do one by one.
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
It's no coincidence.
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
She looks north.
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand. The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay.
Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
I think that's it.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
Thank you very much. I think we're gonna call it here. Just gonna walk back to the... Actually, I might go to the pawn shop, see how much the mug actually might give. Ooh, walk. That was a total accident, by the way, that I found her there. Because I didn't need to speak to her. What? A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Case solved.
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
What did I crack?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is. Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't missing though? But he is missing. You heard her, the worry in her voice. There's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found, right now.
Okay. Awkward, but sure.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing. Very well then. Where is he?
It's about on the...
Excuse me? I don't follow.
There's something else hiding in her voice though. A trace of worry.
But a working class drunk, and I thought he might be yours.
Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what? You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one. I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic.
So is he?
No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park or in Shamrock somewhere, drinking with his friends.
She looks away.
I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
Gone about her book, staring blank into the distance instead.
There. She's worried now.
Let's do this one.
She sighs, but you can detect a slight hint of gratitude and relief from her face.
All right, go ahead. Do you have any questions? Honestly, not that different from you.
Alcoholic then?
That's one way to put it, yes. No offense. I'd also add he's a little bit chubby.
I see, what else?
What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself.
She sighed with her voice slightly quivering when she adds.
It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change.
Who cares about the cold when you have your cool jacket to wear? You can completely sympathize.
I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
Well, if that jacket's really that cool.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or on the coast. And it's making her more and more worried.
When did you last see?
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home. Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
What kind of addiction?
Gone for around 36 hours then. Damn, this is a missing persons case. She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
I think I got it.
So you are going to look for him? Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
He gives her a slip of paper.
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing. Right. What?
She gives you a short nod before returning to her books. Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
Ooh, so these are all complete. I just want to check one more. Like the back door here thing.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Okay, let's talk to the miss over here.
You've hurt yourself now. I told you not to mess around back there. What are you even trying to accomplish, you fool? You're only making things worse. Stop it. Be compelled to look at the books. Go to them.
Okay. Nope, not going to the books. Let's talk to the child.
Hello again, sir.
Who is that?
Oh, that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed. No, sir. She's a working woman who comes to look at the books a lot.
Why is she
I
distressed?
think she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful.
Okay, I'm going to do something now.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
Why do you keep your hands folded?
What do you mean, sir?
She looks wary.
She knows where this is going.
You can show them to me.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. A facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation than his poise reveals.
It's okay.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
You bite your nail?
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
There were a few other hints.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
Yeah.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
You have no one on your chewed on the me, sure feeling, recycling your body. There are no reaches for that. Nope, it's this one.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
No one did take it in the hell.
It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
Okay.
You're quite sober.
She snaps back quickly.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Wait, how do you know I'm
Because you usually aren't.
now having a...
I sure hope you are, sir.
She rubs her red nose.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar. Somehow, there's something you're missing.
What does it feel familiar?
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time.
Foot on her feet.
You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir, apologizing to everyone. I don't really understand what you've done wrong.
Did I ever talk to you?
Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you.
I doubt that. Thanks, I'm trying.
Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes. Yes, of course. That makes sense.
I'm not surprised children have seen you running around with party eyes on, he thinks. Not at all.
Party eyes?
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
So basically, stoned or high out of his mind.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy.
So particularly in narcotics.
Oh, baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
Yeah, the first
I
one.
didn't know I had to do that.
Thanks.
I'm glad I could help you, sir.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna go to the pawn shop. Where's here's the road. See if we can sell the cup for some moolah. Right here. Was this the pawn shop? This was the pawn shop.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Yeah.
The light has undergone 3 transformations, And every transformation, large or small, has a price tag.
What do you mean transformations?
Well, there are the cost of removal and rewiring. The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Okay, that checks out.
Nothing else we need to know.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Sure thing. Sure, man. Sure. Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
No cup. No mug. Nope.
Another time, perhaps.
Nope. Okay. Whoa. Okay, what is this?
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back. Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys. Yes, buy something nice. A figurine. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks. The kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Who are they?
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
A long, long time ago.
That's enough. It's just information. Don't really need any. So I guess next time we will talk to the taxi guys, lorry guys. And I think I'll call it a day here. It's been fun, but again, too much. So I will see you all next time. Thank you all for dropping by. Sorry about the disturbances in the middle and the loud alarm at the middle as well. And I wish you all a good day, a good night. And thanks for the time. Bye bye.